You are listening to Money Matters Podcast. Step into a world full of worth and financial intelligence. Dedicated to bringing awareness, empowering the world to financial freedom and personal development.
Once again, welcome to the Money Matters Podcast. I go by the name Clever Pinero. I'm in the studio with the professional investor, Alex. And today we're going to be talking about why most Ghanaians don't start their own business. There's a lot of Ghanaians out here in America, in Ghana, that don't even think about starting their own business. There's a lot of benefits that comes with starting your own business. You know, it gives you flexibility in your time. You get to decide how much you want to make. You basically pursue whatever you're interested in. You can make all the money you can. Basically, it's a lot of things that comes from owning your own businesses. The business become an asset that you could pass on from generation to generation, and you become your own boss. You call your own shots. Nobody dictates anything for you. Nobody tells you what to do. You run the whole show. And most importantly, your business is your asset. And it's going to keep generating money for you every day, every month, every week, till you decide you don't want to do the business no more, or till you pass it on to the next generation. So it's very important to try to own your own business. Any comments, Alex?
As much as starting your own business is very important and it's very lucrative in terms of profits and stuff like that, it also has a lot of scary, shady areas. And I think that's the reason why most people don't want to venture into it, because working for somebody is a simple, you take less responsibilities, less headache, you just go in there. But then when it comes to starting your own business and working for yourself, you make as much as you put in. And I think that's where the scary and shady parts come in. So without wasting much time, let's get to the reasons.
But you believe people should think about starting their own businesses?
Definitely,
right?
Definitely. It's a lot of work, but a lot of work also comes with a lot of benefits.
Right.
So it's not just working and not making anything. You're going to put in work, but you're going to be rewarded as well. So if you think about all the work that comes with it, you probably think, no, I'm not ready for that. But then again, you'll be losing a lot of money too, because the more you put in, the more you'll be rewarded. So I think that's what's keeping a lot of people away from it.
You know, based on statistics, 75% of new businesses don't make it.
Exactly.
So about only 25% that makes it. So the fact that you want to engage in the business, or you want to start your own business, you want to run your own life, put your financial situation in your own hands, it doesn't guarantee that whatever you're trying to do is going to make it. It's only 25% that survive. So you always got to have that in mind and make sure that you want to be part of that 25%, because it's not going to be easy.
Well, I'll tell you like this, like one of those college professors said, if college was easy, everybody would be in there.
That's true. That's true. So if you wanna, hang with the big boys.
So you have to have that mindset that I'm not going to drop. It's not going to be easy. Besides, no one said it was going to be easy. Anything that's rewarding requires a lot of work. So once you make that decision, you take that step, that's when you have to have that mindset, that strength to say, I'm gonna stick in and do whatever it takes to succeed. So it's a lot of having the willpower and the mental strength to hang around and push through.
Right. And even when you take a look around New York City, for example, you don't see a lot of Ghanaians owning their own businesses. There are some Ghanaians that own businesses, but it could be more Ghanaians owning businesses, especially this new generation Ghanaians that just finished colleges and universities and into all these professions. Most of the people, they're not thinking about business. Everybody's walking around just like in Ghana with their resumes looking for jobs, and they just want to be comfortable and they don't want no stress. Like even when you meet some Ghanaians that just graduated from college, and got like a decent kind of job, and you talk to them about business in a situation where, I'm going to give you an example, would be like if they want to buy a house and you trying to tell them, listen, don't just go for a single family, go for a multiple family or whatever. They'll tell you right away, listen, I don't want to deal with no tenant stress, blah, blah, blah. So it just looked like people just want to be comfortable. They don't want to, stretch themselves. They don't want anything causing stress, because business could be stressful sometimes, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Basically, you're giving it a shot to see how it's going to turn out.
Yes, and the more comfortable you want to be or get, the lower your resources and income is also going to be, because you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to go through some long days and long nights and stuff like that to be able to succeed. So if you want to be comfortable, have that 8 hours of sleep at night and have that time with the family at home all the time and all these other things. If you want to have enjoy all these things, then I guess that starting your own business will not be for you. And also one thing I think is that all the African or Ghanaian businessmen have the same line of business. We're either importing stuff from Africa, from Ghana, or we are establishing those African Ghanaian markets, or a barbering shop and stuff like that. And my problem with this is, if you go to a Spanish-owned grocery store, you could buy pretty much anything. Right. American, sometimes even some other Caribbean and African countries' products, you can find them there. But if you go to an African Ghanaian market, it's strictly Ghanaian products.
So in other words, we don't expand our territory. We only stay with the Ghanaian people. Our customer base is mainly Ghanaians.
Our market is trimmed so low that our audience, our customers, is just that small.
Right.
That portion of the population that do shop with us is so minimal that even if all of them do come to our market, our place and shop, we're still not going to be up to the level of these other nationals, because you go in there, you African could go to a Spanish spot and pretty much grab whatever you want. You can go there for a coffee. How many African markets do you know that do have coffees that they sell?
I mean, innovation is even a problem in most of these African businesses. Some don't even take credit cards and stuff like that. So, which makes it very hard to sometimes do business with them,
Yeah, definitely. So I think our outlook on businesses and the way we do look at these things, we have to modify and change our thinking and our outlook on them, because it trims our market and make it so minimal, small, that sales is always not going to be up there, or we're not going to be able to compete with these other nationals because of the things and the products that we do offer for sale.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because most of the businessmen, especially in the Bronx out here, most of the businessmen, businesswomen, it looks like is a different generation, So their focus is a little different. The way they operate is a little different than the newer generation. Like this new generation Ghanaians in America, the way they don't even, I don't know a lot of people that are involved in any kind of business. They don't even try at all. They just stay in their comfort zone, get their job, buy a car, buy a one-family house, move upstate or whatever it is, and they just get comfortable, and that's it. And they just keep working and saving their money. That's about it.
Yeah, that's true. I think lack of innovation is one of our biggest problems, because one person sees others do one specific business. Every person wants to get in that same line of business. I quite remember a while back on that Park Avenue.
Right.
I can't even count how many African markets they had on that, because I think the storages and those stores, the buildings on there were so cheap and people could afford their rent and stuff like that. So everybody wanted to go into that area right there. And now, How many, we do have some Ghanaians or Africans down here in the Bronx by that area, but if everybody's setting up an African market on that very same line, how many people, how much market is each store going to get?
Yeah, the market gets saturated, because if everybody's doing the same thing in the same on the same area and everything, that kind of devalue or just reduce the kind of profit that you could potentially make. So it's never the best idea. That's just how Ghanaians are, though. Even in Ghana, when you start a business and the business is doing well, you better hope that you capture all the profit you could capture within a short period of time, because everybody's going to jump into it. They're going to jump into it, come to the same area to do the same kind of business. So it becomes a problem,
And it's just so sad that if a person does not understand how your business is ran and how much how your like your daily activities are, how you generate money and market for your specific business, they'll probably think you're doing some illegal stuff or doing some black magic money or something, because they don't know the details of how your market is run.
True.
So we have to change our outlook and
So
our ways.
we would like to encourage, like, the new generation Ghanaians and the Ghanaians in America, Ghanaians in Ghana, to focus on doing business, because
And basically think outside the box, because we've got these set standards that everybody want to go by, but nobody should be allowed to. Nobody should allow anyone to set any standard for them, because you are in your particular certain spot and you know how things do affect you.
Right.
So if this guy is doing this way because he lives in this area and he's affected by these factors, don't put yourself in that category. You're a different person in your own different area.
Because the life of the average Ghanaian in America is go to college, finish college, get a degree,
maybe rack some college student loans,
rack up college student loans, get a job, work the job for like 40 years, hopefully you have your 401k or you save some money.
Maybe depend on Social Security.
Leave an apartment and work and, hope that by the time you graduate, by the time you retire, Social Security will be available. So basically you retire, whatever pension your job is giving you, plus Social Security, plus your 401ks, and you just retire and then move back to Ghana. That's the average Ghanaian life in America. They work all the years, 30, 40 years, and then they retire and they just depend on their 401ks and retirement and Social Security, and that's it. And they move to Ghana because the dollar to city ratio favors you when you're in Ghana. So they'll live out there. They don't think about owning properties here or owning businesses here. They'll go back to Ghana, live there, and then if they want to come to America for checkups or want to come to America to, change the environment a little bit, they gotta find a friend who has a place where they could come in and stay for some time, or like a family member, and then go back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like that. You should not. For me, I don't even think you should, as a business person or as a somebody who's trying to break into financial freedom and stuff like that. You never stop working. Maybe you stop working for somebody, but you should always have your own business running. If you're not doing it, you should have other people that are going to take over, your family or other people that you will pay to take over business. You should always, as long as you're living, you should always have something going on for you.
Yeah, because once the business is set up and is running, there are so many systems that could be put in place that you don't physically have to be there to get it going.
Right.
Once you have all these systems and people that have been put in different positions in different areas to run certain aspects of that business, they would know exactly which way and how to run certain things, that once you may be even back in Ghana living your life, but then again, you would just probably punch a few buttons and you could read reports and everything, see how these things, your business is being run and stuff like that. So we should not stop thinking. We should not stop thinking. We should not stop innovating. That's the whole thing. We shouldn't conform to that set standards. We shouldn't go by that set standards that you come here, you bust your butt for like maybe 30, 40 years. Hopefully Social Security would give you something. Your 401k would, grow to a certain level. And even most people don't even take advantage of them 401ks and stuff like that, because they think it's money coming for them, and because they want to, whatever they make, they're here making a couple of dollars and also translating that into cities. So whatever they make, this is such and such in cities, so I could do such and such back home. So the focus is too much back there, because whatever you make here, you should invest, and the proceeds that do come from your investment should be going back to Ghana. It shouldn't be the other way around.
So the focus shouldn't just be doing business in Ghana. It should be doing business here too.
Because that's a huge problem.
Because most
you
people
are here working and making the money to sustain that business. So you cannot physically be in Ghana to run your business. And the few family members and friends that you do leave that business with end up owning and stealing and, spending all your money, wasting your money. So next thing you know, and even if you should decide to go and start up a business back home, if the capital for that specific business you're trying to get into is about 20,000, you'd probably need about 50,000.
Right.
Because there's no guarantee that the first 20,000 is going to succeed in that business. And once that you lose that first, it's not going to lose that 20,000. That's all you have. The capital you needed to start that business is 20,000. You get up and go back home to go start that business with 20,000. That's all the income. That's all the money you have. So before you even make profit from that 20,000, you're already spending. You've already eaten into that. So
Right.
next thing you know, that 20,000 is 15,000, then 10,000, then 5,000. Then now you can't run the business anymore. You cannot even afford the expenses to run that same business. You end up folding and coming back. Now you've wasted maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and now you have to come back and start all over again in America. So the focus should not just be in Africa, in Ghana. We can also look into other areas here in investing in America, because you can invest, like you said, you invest in America, and the proceeds, the returns from whatever your investments are, you can just send them back to go start something. Because if you have something running here and it's set up and has been established, even if you're in Ghana starting over there, you're still making money here.
Yeah, you don't have to be you don't have
Physically.
to physically be there. You could be over here, you could be over here and still have your business running there. You could be over there and still have your business running over here. But one thing is, sometimes when you are here and you want to start a business in Ghana and have other people look, oversee it for you. Sometimes when you go over there and see similar businesses that are running, and you take a look at those businesses and you figure out how much that business is making every year
compared to yours.
Let's say the business that you're doing, the amount of money that you put into the business, you're gonna make about 10% of that money. So let's say if you invested $100,000, you're gonna make 10,000 by the end of the year.
Right.
And if you have a business out here or some kind of investment out here that is gonna give you that amount,
right,
it doesn't make sense to take the money there back to Ghana to invest.
No.
Because I think sometimes some people just want to set up businesses and maybe support some family members and stuff like that. That's why they do it. But financially, it's not the smartest thing to do.
No.
Because you have a chance of making money, that same money plus more out here. But then you take the money over there and you raise the chance of the business collapsing or people misusing the money, or basically people with different mindset running your business. They don't do it the same way that you would have done it. Exactly,
because they do say that one-man businesses do die with their owners, because the level of commitment and the dedication and motivation and the work that the owners will put in, if they leave that to somebody else, no one will take care of it as much as they would do, because the money came from your sweat and blood. So you will make sure you will put in every effort, every work to make it successful. But then if I'm here or I'm back home and somebody had put together maybe $200,000 for me to start a business, you see, I would probably think this guy has a lot of money sending me $200,000. So even if I run that down, he's still going to send me some more. So the dedication and commitment and motivation is not going to be as high as the person who actually made that money from his blood and sweat. So that's one thing.
Yeah, that's true. When it comes to business, being outside Ghana and living in Ghana is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
it's a lot to be learned. Like you gotta get involved to know what's actually going on, because it's so much to learn. It doesn't mean that you cannot do a business in Ghana that's going to be successful, or you can. There's some businesses that you do in Ghana, you have a higher chance of the business being successful than in America, and there's some businesses in America that has a higher chance of being successful here. So we're not trying to say don't do business in Ghana or don't do business in America.
No.
We're saying do business, but do your research and make sure you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Don't just follow the trend that's going on. If everybody's buying cars from America to send to Ghana to go sell, you don't just follow the same trend. If everybody is selling yam or whatever from Ghana to America, you don't get involved in doing the same thing. You pick your niche and you make sure that you do all the research you can before you get involved, before you take that risk. Because getting into a business is a risk, a big risky thing that you get yourself into. It's very risky. So you want to make sure that you think about it, you research it, and then you take a small risk.
We just got to think outside the box and be just a little innovative. Just that's all. Because it has become like an attitude of Ghanaians and Africans that we only got to get into something that we know somebody has gone into and is making money. We don't want to be the first ones to start stuff up. So that's also another thing. So we have to just be innovative and start thinking outside the box. So because there are so many ways in making money. You've seen them halal trucks that they do sell these halal foods and stuff.
Yeah,
I think I saw on YouTube a Nigerian who has started a truck food services like that too in the heart of Manhattan selling jollof.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
And you'd be shocked how much money this guy is making, because he can't even supply or fulfill all these customers and all these market that he's getting right now. But look at how long it took for somebody to get into it.
That's the thing about being innovative. You gotta always come up with your own ways, come up with your own ideas. Believe in yourself. Like, sit down and also think of ways that you could impact society. You don't just sit down and just follow what everybody else is doing. So without wasting much time, you're gonna go to the list of the 10 reasons why most Ghanaians don't start their own business. The first on the list is most Ghanaians are scared of losing the consistent paycheck that we get every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every month. That checks that come in, that we make our plans with, that we pay our rent with, that we just budget our whole life with. We are scared to lose that money, that consistent money that comes in. We are scared to lose it. That is the number one reason why we don't start our own business.
Yes. And I think it's a legitimate reason, because the way we all know how the way America is set up, you have to have money you have to make money every day, a consistent amount of money that a fixed amount coming in X amount of time, bi-weekly, weekly, by every 3 weeks or monthly, to plan how much your rent is, how much your total expenses and bills are for the month, to be able to plan and live. Like, hey, I'm making $200 every week. It's $800 a month. I have to go for a rent that's gonna cost me X amount. So starting your own business, sometimes you cannot be that fixed or know the exact amount you're gonna be making at the end of the month to be able to.
That one's very critical though, because if you don't even know how much you're going to make in that business that you're starting. So do you keep your job and venture into that business slowly, or do you just save up some money and just quit your job and just go into that business full force until you see some money coming in? Or maybe you gotta have some kind of a strategy, because you can't just not have any backup and just jump into any business and lose the consistent paycheck that's coming in. Because a lot of people love that check and they plan with that check for everything. They don't want to lose that check. But you have the potential to make more money doing your own business.
Exactly.
So this is a dicey situation right now, But there are people that have come up with a strategy and been able to overcome this.
Exactly.
So there are ways to overcome it.
Not people. There are people doing that every day. There are people starting new businesses every day, and they're making it. Because somebody said a consistent paycheck or salary is just something to pin you down.
Right.
Because once you can never make more than your job, the person who owns the job that you do, you can never make more than that person.
I mean, you get paid 20% of the amount that you generate for a company that you work for. If you
Look at
generate
that.
if you generate $100,000, or let's say $10 for a company, the company is only paying you $2.
Exactly.
So basically,
You can never rise to that
you know what I'm
level
saying?
of the owner of this company or you're working for. So if you want to get up there, and you keep one of your plans is to keep working for people, you would never be able to compete with them. And this is the reason why some also do pick 2-3 jobs. And
Right.
all you pretty much doing is you are just putting in your strength and your health and everything on the line to be able to, get to the level of these guys.
Right.
Meanwhile, we can also sit back, try to figure out some ways, some new products, some new needs of people, and just try to meet them or solve the problems of others. And but then we not wanting to sit back and think and find ways to do these things is also the reason why we keep working and keep looking for jobs. Because somebody will come and testify at church how much God is blessing by giving him a job with somebody else.
That's a huge problem because
that's the mindset that we need to change. This is the mindset that we need to change, because how many children, how many parents do advise and push their kids to start thinking about starting their own business and start being innovative and thinking outside the box and, looking for problems that they could solve and then in the process making money. We always say, hey, study hard, go to college, find a good paying job. A good paying job,
good salary. We always talking about which job is paying more, which job is paying less, and we're not even passionate about most of the jobs that we have because
we don't want them. We just there for the money.
Yeah, because if you're not passionate about it, you cannot strive, or you cannot be great at whatever you're doing.
It's gonna be a struggle. Everything you're gonna drag yourself to work every day because this is not something you enjoy doing. You go into these places because of the money, and with that, you're always pushing yourself, always dragging yourself, and it should not be like that.
Sometimes with the amount of risk involved in, quitting your job or just starting the new business, I think the best approach is to find a bunch of like-minded people
and share the risk.
That way the risk is kind of shared among everybody. So you don't go in there and be scared in case something goes wrong. Even though there's so many positive things that could happen, the mind sort of start thinking about all the negative things that could possibly happen. So it makes it very hard for a lot of people to engage into owning their own business. So sometimes when you find a bunch of like-minded people and you share the risk, it's much better. But you could also save your money. Like, you could dedicate a whole year, save your whole year's salary and take a chance. Take a chance. And if the business hit, if you're lucky, or if you do what you're supposed to do, and your business go right and you become part of that 25% that always survive, then, it looks like you're doing a good thing, and you can start moving on and, pushing forward.
Now be comfortable at that very initial stage you started at and just stay there. You have to keep developing, bringing new innovations and new ideas and stuff like that. Because you start a market and you start selling, and you've been taking cash since you started, and it has been going on for 10 years. Now those accepting debit cards and credit cards are taking all your customers, because now you cannot fulfill the needs of all these guys. Is a problem going to the bank before coming to the store, and I have my ATM card, my debit card that could be used right there. So if this store A is accepting debit cards and store B, where I go all the time, but now it's not accepting debit cards, it's not accepting. I'll go to store A. It's convenient for me. So, never stop being innovative. And
yeah. So we should find a way to not be tied up to this paycheck every month or every week or whatever it is. We should find a strategy to blend either working in the business together or to get the business, because the business is the biggest asset that when everything goes well, you could even pass it on to the generations that are going to come after you.
Definitely, it's not going to be easy.
You're going to give them a stepping stone to stand on, and they could also build on. Everybody don't have to start from where you started from. The fact that you struggle doesn't mean everybody has to struggle. You know, you struggle, other people come in, you should be able to make their life much better. So that's the number one reason why most Ghanaians don't start their own business. They are tied up to that consistent paycheck that comes in every week, every 2 weeks,
Complacent.
every month. So that's the number one. Number two on the list is self-doubt. Most Ghanaians, they doubt themselves. Like, they see the business they want to do and they see the potential risk involved. They see the potential profit involved, how big that business could be, and they compare themselves to other existing business. They don't see themselves owning this business. It's like a Ghanaian could be standing next to McDonald's on a line, and they don't see themselves owning the McDonald's or the Popeyes or the Dunkin' Donuts or the Foot Locker or the Dr. J's or all these other stores out there.
Exactly.
You know, they don't see themselves owning it. They see themselves as the customer all the time.
Or the worker working for
the
that
worker or
specific
the customer
particular.
all the time. They don't see themselves owning it. They cannot wrap their mind around owning that kind of business. You know, even a car dealership or even any kind of business that is already established. They cannot wrap their mind around it. They don't think they could possibly do it. They doubt themselves, which is a huge problem in the Ghanaian community.
Yeah, they doubt themselves because they don't have the information. They don't have the details of how that specific business is run and how it's owned. We just don't want to like research and learn new things. We are so comfortable at where we at and what we're doing to the point where we don't even want to make any changes. We are also scared of that. Self-doubt is all about also being afraid of change, because we are comfortable making that $200 every pay period, that 2 weeks that we know is going to be consistent. So I'm not going to lose that. So I'm not even going to start looking at other things. But then again, you see a big McDonald's there, people going in and out every day, owners of these McDonald's making money. All you have to do is ask yourself, how do these people make, how did they make it there?
How do you own a McDonald's
How
franchise?
do you start? Where do you start? What do you do? What information, what qualification, what requirements is needed to get one of these?
And start working towards it.
We never ask these questions. We're so comfortable. A couple of my friends were yellow cab drivers, and I was talking to one of them, and I said, how long have you been doing this? And they said, a couple of years, good amount of years now. I said, have you ever thought about owning that medallion that you guys pay so much for every week or every 2 weeks? Have you ever thought about that? That's a good question. I've never even considered that. Why not? This is your line of business. This is what you do. You already have the expertise in that field.
And you know, when you find out that you could just even finance these things and you don't have to even pay cash for them, it's unbelievable how these people don't even think about these things.
Don't even ask the question.
It's
just
crazy.
initiate. Just ask questions. That's all you have to do. If it's something beyond your reach, you just move on and keep doing what you do.
They just don't believe they have the abilities to be handling their own business.
I think
They don't believe they are smart enough. They have the brains.
that's
to
the
be doing it,
self-doubt.
you know?
That's the self-doubt. Back in 2012, when we had to go to Ghana to go perform grandma's funeral, before, like, I was talking to one of my uncles and asking about the arrangements and putting stuff together for the funeral, and I said, hey, so what meat do you have, meat and stuff like that? Oh, we're thinking about getting some of those frozen chicken in a couple of boxes and stuff like that. I said, what about a whole cow? Have you thought about buying one of those? Because I'm pretty sure that would be very good. Oh, man, I don't even want to think about that. That's so expensive. I said, how much is it? Oh, I don't know, but I don't think we can afford it. I said, all right, just do me a favor. Go and ask them a price of a full cow. If we can afford it, fine. If not, we just push it away. We need to know the information and have all these options on the table and just choose from the best option fitting our situation right now.
Yeah, I mean, you should never even think of like, I can't, or keep saying I can't afford it.
So this guy not knowing anything about that, he wrote that off. We can't afford it. I said, just do me a favor, ask for the price for me. So he went and inquired of that price, came back and said, oh man, you were right. All we need to do is just start asking questions. No one is going to put a gun to your head if you go and ask them, hey, this is what I'm looking at. How much is it? What does it take? Where do I start from? They give you this information. You sit right there. You look through them. Oh, I can meet that. I can meet that. Oh, this is easy. I can definitely do this. Fine. You go ahead and do it. If you cannot do these things, you tell them, I'm sorry, but I'll come back. No one is going to, kill you or beat you or it can't do anything to you.
It should never be, I can't afford it. It should be, how can I afford it?
Because we don't seek that information.
Whenever you say you can't afford it, your brain shuts. But when you say, how can I afford it? Then your brain opens and you start thinking of other ways,
opportunities, other ways in making that happen. That's it.
So you should always, just don't conclude situations in your mind. Don't conclude the situations in your mind. You should be open up to think of other ways, other ideas, other strategies, other ways of doing these things.
You can conclude when you have all the information on the table.
Right.
Just don't write stuff off without even inquiring about them first.
So basically, we should believe in ourselves. Believe in yourself that you could actually do whatever business you want to do. Put all your effort into it. Push it till it becomes successful. You don't give up on it. You give it your best shot. And stop thinking negative. Think positive. Because as long as you are taking a risk into any kind of business, there are some positive things that could come out of it. And there are also some negative things that could come out of it. Stick with the positives, with the negatives in mind, but push for the positives and try to make your business happen. And
somebody did it and they have succeeded. So it's possible. It could be done. Ask questions and seek information. Do your research. And then if you cannot do it, fine. But then don't just write stuff off before doing researching and seeking information and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to leave you with. Let's have that open-mindedness and start looking and researching and gaining a lot of knowledge and information before we write stuff off.
Yep. And number 3 on the list is lack of resources. I mean, before you start a business, just like any other thing, you are never 100% ready. You're not going to have everything that you need. You're not going to have all the money you need. You're not going to have all the ideas. You're not going to have everything in the right place at that time. So you don't just say, listen, I just don't have all my resources right now. I don't have access to A, B, C, D, so I can't do the business. You got to start from somewhere. You can't just quit right from the start. You got to start from somewhere. You got to sit down. The little that you have, you got to find how you're going to use that small to start the business. You just can't be like, listen, I don't have this, I don't have that, so I can't do the business. I can't get loans. I can't get this. I can't get money. Like I was talking to a friend in Ghana one time, and I was trying to, let him know that, listen, there's so many business opportunities in Ghana that people from outside of Ghana come there and they see all these things, all these business opportunities, and they take advantage of them. How come you guys don't see it? Because even when I come to Ghana, there's always so many business opportunities that I see. And sometimes I take chance and I try some of them. Sometimes I just look at it because, I don't live there. So I cannot, the fact that I don't live there, it's not going to be easy to be doing business from outside. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not work. Yeah. But I try to get into their mind to find out what is stopping you from trying this business? What is stopping you from giving it a shot? The number one reason they will say is, we don't have the money. We don't have the capital to start. And the bank wouldn't give you the money. And if the bank gives you the money, the interest is so high, but you can't do the business, you can't pay them off, and then everything wind up collapsing. So I asked myself, so have you ever, taken the time to talk to other people who are actually in the business doing it and how they did it? And they'll be like, no. With this mindset, how can you be successful doing any kind of business? You already failed from the beginning because you're not talking to people that are doing it. You're not going to the bank to find out, listen, I want to get this amount of money to start a business. What should I do? Tell me, what would you guys need? What kind of income would you guys need? What kind of information will you guys need? So I could just go back and do my homework and make sure that I get everything right and come to you. If I can't get the money, Like I said before, get people that are also serious and want to do the business. Sit down, let's strategize how you're going to get this money to start this business. You don't just sit down and be like, I don't have no resources, I don't have this, I don't have that, so I can't do the business, and just be there. At the end of the day, nobody cares about you. It's your own life. You're the one that cares about your life. Nobody cares about your life more than you do. So you can't, if you stay there and just be there, do nothing is going to happen. You're going to be there and look miserable and have a mediocre life, but that is not, I'm pretty sure God didn't put us on this planet to come out here and suffer. God want to make sure that everybody enjoy life to the max. So if you decide that you don't want to take chances, you just want to sit back and just watch everybody else do good and blame other things for for not being successful, then that's up to you. But you don't use lack of resources as a way of not starting a business or not doing anything. You like the Nike logo says, just do it. Get into it and find out what is in there. You learn through the process. As you're going in, whatever you need, you're learning, and you're fixing situations, and you keep going and going and going. Before you know, you become an expert in whatever you're trying to do. So that's the problem. That's the number 3 reason why most Ghanaians don't start their own business.
Yeah, and the problem is they want to stop at 100 instead of starting from 1 and then growing through the procedures and steps to get to 100. They see themselves on top. They don't picture themselves going through the ranks to get up there. One typical example is this guy that we were trying to set up a bakery with. All right. Now, it involved, the capital involved was so huge, and we advised that, hey, why don't we just start with an oven and a table, and we go get the flour and stuff mixed outside, and then come back and then do the rest here, and then down the road, if we grow and we have the resources, we acquire the mixers and the rest of them. He said, no, it can't be done that way. That's going to cost us so much money. So we have to, from the very beginning, go acquire the mixer, the stretcher or whatever they use to stretch it up, right, and everything else from the very get. You don't have the capital to even get the ovens. Somebody's trying to help you out with this stuff, the capital, and you want everything from the very beginning. All right, let's start small and grow.
Yeah, because they don't want to build from ground up. Let's
start small and learn from the procedures and steps, and then keep adding new stuff to it as we grow and develop. Because the person you're trying to be did not start where they are or where you see them now. They started from the ground. They started from very small beginnings, and now look at them. That's how it's done. So let's not put ourselves at 100 at the very beginning. Let's start from 1 and then grow through the ranks. So with that, you're looking at yourself on top before you even go into that specific business. That's you shut yourself down already, because you're not going to have the money or the resources all at the very beginning to start and be like the person who's been in that business for maybe 3, 4, 5 years.
Everything you're saying right now should be directed to most of the university graduates in Ghana. For example, they'll get out of university, they can't find a job.
With zero experience.
They only have a piece of paper in their hands as a degree or a diploma. And they want to be the boss of somebody else's business. They want to be running somebody's affairs. They want to be the manager right away. They want to be the supervisor right away. It doesn't work like that. They don't find these. Sometimes when you don't have all the resources available, it forces you to be creative.
Exactly.
That is when you are able to come out with creative ideas to start your own thing. How many Ghanaian university graduates you think are gonna go into the market and start being kayayo or sell bread or sell yam or whatever to generate capital to start any kind of business? They're not gonna do it.
Besides that A1 bread guy, I think there's nobody else.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it. How many university graduates are gonna sell charcoal or sell padlocks and whatever it is that people buy on the streets? They're not gonna do it.
And it could be
even pump gas. They're not gonna do it.
It could be that those people in these menial businesses are even making more than those with tie and stuff in these offices, but yet
the people in ties and suits and ties in the offices they're working for other people. They're not making no money. They don't owe that money. They're only getting 10 to 15 to 20% of whatever they're generating for the company. They're not making money like that unless they have some businesses on the side that is giving them money. So you cannot just look at people wearing suit and ties and think they're making money. It's like in Ghana, everybody want to work in the bank. For some reason they think the people in the bank who are taking care of other people's money. People believe they are, those people are successful to some extent. I just don't get it. That everybody want to work in the bank
because they're wearing shirt and tie.
But the guys on the street are probably making more money than these people.
Yeah.
So you gotta be creative. You gotta come up with ideas, strategies that you could use to come up with resources and start your own business. If you're not willing to go down to ground zero to build up, you are really not serious.
No.
Because you're expecting somebody to just give you $1 million to start a business, or somebody to just come in and put you in at a pedestal, or maybe put you at a certain level that you may not even be ready for. You may think you're ready for that, but you may not even be ready for it.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to, start from ground up and build up. That is when you cherish and you do anything for that business, because this is your blood and sweat.
And then grow with it. With it. Gain that experience, because sometimes that experience is worth more than any amount of money that somebody could give you. Because you may have that money, but if you don't have the experience to get it up there, you will lose everything. So let's start very small and then grow with these things.
Yeah, because you start small, but you make mistakes. It doesn't really hit the business that much, because it will be a little mistake. And you keep building slowly, and you're learning, and you're learning, and you're learning. By the time the business get big, you're an expert already. You already know the ins and outs and everything.
Yeah.
By the time you get what the resources that you were in need of from the scratch, everything will be just easier for you. So the focus shouldn't just be shutting your brain and saying, I don't have resources, so I can't do this business, or I don't have A, B, C, D, so I can't do this business. You should also always have the mind that, listen, I'm going to do whatever is going to take. I'm going to do everything that is going to take to make sure this business happen. I'm going to look for all the help I can. I'm going to look for all the information I can from other people that are doing it. People that started from exactly where I'm at. Because, Rome wasn't built in one day. You don't just wake up and you have everything you need in your hands. You always have to find ways to get whatever you need. There are some people that they have done this already. You could talk to them, find out how they did it. You could talk to other people, like-minded people, how they did it. You shouldn't put yourself or see yourself so big that you don't feel like there are certain jobs are not for you. This job is not for me. That one is for me. This is not for me. I don't know where that idea came from, because what makes you think that you are entitled to something? Like, there's no sense of entitlement to anything, So you shouldn't feel like, oh, I went to university, I graduated from the university, so I can't do this job, I can't do that job. It's whatever is going to give you the most money you need. Whatever is going to help you to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. If you have to be the garbage guy, the garbage man, and that is what's going to help you, achieve your business, you should be willing to do it. If you're not willing to do it, and you want somebody to hand you money, or you want God to just drop something from the sky on your lap, or you think some pastor or some magic guy is going to come up with some money for you to do anything, you are a big time joke.
Yeah.
You're not serious at all.
No. That won't happen, because no one guaranteed you anything. No one promised you anything. So you're going to have to put in the work yourself, and you're going to have to research and find out how much money these people are making. You'd be shocked how much money these guys that you look down and despised every day, how much money they do make.
Yep. So that was number 4. Actually, that was number 3. So number 4 on the list is lack of sacrifice.
That's huge.
Lack of sacrifice. It takes so much to start a business, to run it. And not everybody is willing to put, like, sometimes your health is even on the line. Because,
Yes.
the funny thing is you work more hours in your own business than working for somebody else. Somebody's business, you go in, put in like 8 hours, 7.5, 10 hours. You come home.
And I'm supposed to get this hour lunch,
an hour lunch,
this and that.
15 minutes breaks and all that stuff. You come home and you don't even think about the business anymore.
No, you're done.
Until the next day.
Yeah.
But if you own that business, you eat, sleep,
and live.
do everything.
You live that business.
Some people sleep where they do their business.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work. Like, you sacrifice sometimes you even have to sacrifice your family because you may not be around that much to even enjoy that family time and all that stuff. But you're doing your business, you helping, you're trying to put the family at a certain position, or you're trying to make sure that you create something, some kind of an asset for the family, so the family don't have to struggle, or make life much easier for them. But sometimes people may not understand it, and they may think the business is all you want to do or whatever it is. But it's a struggle, but you gotta be willing to take the sacrifice. You gotta be willing to sacrifice to achieve this business. It's not gonna come easy. So it's you're sacrificing your time, your money, your brains, so much. Time and money. Your time alone is everything. If you don't have time, what are you gonna do? Your time, your health, so many things that you sacrifice.
Yep.
So
your comfort.
Lack of sacrifice is a big deal. It's a very big deal.
And I think this is one of the main reasons why most sole proprietorship do die with the person who starts it or the owners. Because the amount of sacrifice they do put in, the amount of commitment they do bring on board, and the motivation and dedication they put into it. Like you said, some people do live and sleep and eat and everything that business, because this is their blood and sweat. That's their everything. That's that one thing that they've dedicated their whole life to make it succeed. Their resources and everything have been brought here to put into it. So if it doesn't succeed, they've lost their whole probably lives, savings and investments and stuff like that. So whatever it takes, and that's the mindset that we need to put into these things to make them work, to make them succeed and make them grow. Because you're not just going to do a half-assed job and expect a full-blown profit or benefit. It's whatever you put in. It's not like that somebody's job that you're doing that you don't care. At the end of the pay period, you just expect your pay slip or paycheck or whatever, no matter what, how much money you generated or how much effort you showed or how much motivation and dedication you brought on board that pay period or pay day or that working period. This, you reap exactly what you sow. And if you don't have that mental strength, that sacrifice to go into that business with, you're not going to reap anything. So from the fence lines, you're going to say, oh, this is not going to work and this won't work, because you don't have that sacrifice ready to be put into it to make it grow. So that lack of sacrifice is a huge thing, and we need to build on that if you really want to go into our own businesses.
And even if you are looking for partners to come in there to help you, and they come in and they see that you're not sacrificing anything, you're not putting anything on the line, they're not going to take you serious.
No.
It's just like going to the bank. Why do you think when you go to the bank say, all right, you looking for a loan from the bank, and they'll tell you, okay, we need you to have this amount of down payment.
Yeah.
The bank, they just want to make sure you have skin in the game. They want to make sure that you are willing to put your own money into this business. Once they see that, then they take you serious. They know that, all right, so this guy is really serious. He's willing to put his own money in this thing too. So we're going to take him serious and start, evaluating whatever documents he brought to see if we could give him the loan. It's the same situation here. If you're not willing to sacrifice your time, your money, your health, your knowledge and everything into this business, you're not serious. You might as well not try at all,
No.
because you can't just, if you're not, either you're going in or you're just not doing it
You
at all.
don't do it.
you know. So that was number 4, lack of sacrifices. Most Ghanaians, they don't want to do the sacrifice. They want somebody else do the sacrifice, and they come in there with their resumes and CVs and apply for the job. And if they're not getting the raises they think they deserve, and they start bashing the company and start, calling them names and destroying their reputation and all that stuff. But they have no idea when everything started, So that was number 4. Number 5 is lack of support. When people decide they want to do business, what usually happens is they wind up talking to other people about it. Like, hey, I want to do this. I'm trying to do A, B, C, D. And most of the time, the people they talk to, they try to talk them out of the business that they're trying to do. They don't support them. Sometimes you don't get support from friends, family members, close friends and all that stuff. You don't get the support you need. But sometimes it's human nature to, want support in whatever you're doing. If you don't get that support, it kind of like breaks you down, and it demotivates you. It doesn't encourage you to keep pushing to what you're trying to achieve. So most people, once they're not getting the support they need, they just fold, So lack of support, I think, as a businessman or as somebody who wants to do business, you have to be able to motivate yourself. You should never just rely on other people, because if whatever you're trying to do is your vision, it's your vision for a reason. It's not the next person's vision. That's why they're not seeing it the way that you see it. So you should focus on your vision and put in 100% in what you're trying to do, and stop trying to get support from other people. If the support comes, good. If the support doesn't come, you have to be willing to take the chance, because at the end of the day, if you become successful or everything works out, it's you who is going to enjoy. It's not the other people.
Yeah. And it's so because, like you said, it's your vision, not theirs. And they cannot see it from what you're seeing or from where you are looking at it from. And our perception on things are way different individually. Because I'm looking at something from a specific angle, and the way I'm seeing that stuff will be totally different from how the next person sees it. Because we're not looking at it like they say, if you look at number 6 from a certain angle, you will see 6. But if somebody else looks at that same number from another angle, they're going to see 9. So what you people are looking at the same thing, but then seeing different things.
You're coming from a different angles.
So if they're not seeing what you're seeing, it's just human nature to tell you that's not going to work, because they don't see it from the point that you're seeing it from.
It's your vision. You're the only one seeing it. Nobody cares about your dreams.
It's your dream.
Nobody cares about
you.
it.
You dreamt that dream, and they did not see that dream, so they're not gonna have that detailed specifics that you have. And sometimes most of these things are so hard to share with others, even to get them to be able to explain it to them, to get it from how you are seeing it. It will be a problem. So with that being said, they will only see part of it, and if they're looking at part of it, they're not gonna come and tell you or give you that full support, because they don't see what you see. It's all about believing in what you're seeing, and because you're the only person seeing it, and to build to that specific thing that you're seeing in your dream, to put in that work, that sacrifice, that dedication, eradicate all those self-doubts, and believed in yourself, and say, yes, this is all I need, myself, and my support is everything, because I know exactly what I'm looking at. Somebody who went to college and could not complete and ended at level 200 or in the second year, he's done, probably racked up some college loans and stuff like that. They're gonna end up paying for the rest of their lives or something like that. And somebody who went to college and graduated and got a job and is doing very good, these people have different outlooks on a college education.
Yep.
So definitely, if you're talking, depends on the person you talk to and how they did in college, you're going to get a different ideas from different people. It's just like businesses and dreams and visions and stuff like that. Everybody else have their own point of view. And from the direction they're looking at that specific thing, that gives them the knowledge that they will have on that specific subject. So let's stick to our visions and dreams and give ourselves the support, the moral support and everything that we need, and not go share it to the whole world and have them tell us, no, it won't work. Because you're the only one seeing what you're seeing. And with that, you're going to be the only person to make it work.
At the end of the day, you want to pay the full price involved in making your vision come through. It's your vision. You're the only one seeing it. The people walking around, the people that you're talking to, they don't give a damn. They don't care. They don't care about your dream. If it works out, they're going to clap for you and say, hey, you did good. But they don't really go to sleep. They don't lose sleep. They don't lose any sleep over the business or whether it's going. They might pretend to you like, make you feel like they care about it or they don't give a damn about it.
Yeah.
They going to sleep. The moment they probably walk away from you, you probably don't exist anymore in their mind. So it's your dream. You got to be willing to pay full price. Do everything to make it successful.
It's your dream, your vision, and you are the only one with that passion, and that's what drives anything. So once you have the dream and vision and the passion to get it going, just push through it and trust you're gonna get to that level you've been.
Don't wait for the support of everybody
and the approval of
because you're not gonna get that. It's like, videos on YouTube is always likes and dislikes and all that. Sometimes you can see something so important or something so productive or something so knowledgeable, something that makes so much sense
to you,
and it will have dislikes, and you'll be like, yo, who disliked this? Like, who did this? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And there are some people are just born out straight out of hatred or jealousy because they probably know this whatever you're telling them would work. But because they did not come up with that or probably don't have that resources to get that going, they will just shut you down, say it won't work, all because they don't want to see you on that level.
Right. So, let's try not to get everybody else's support because not everybody's going to support our ideas. It doesn't work like that. It's never going to work.
Everybody else is going to approve of what you're trying to do. So stop trying to seek these approvals from these people.
Yep. So that was number 5. Number 6 on the list is most Ghanaians don't start their own business because they don't have the ability to multitask. Because, when you started a new business, you become the manager, the cashier, the floor member, the supervisor, the truck loader, every position there is, sometimes it falls on you. So you got to be able to, think about the business and do the work and certain things that you may not even have the experience in. You got to find a way to do everything from the beginning sometimes. Or sometimes you don't have the help. Even if you need the help, you might not be able to afford the help. You might not be able to pay for other people to support you. So you have to, do almost everything. And it's a problem for some people. Because of that, they decide not to do business at all, not to engage in any kind of business at all with all these responsibilities that comes with it. They don't want to, kill themselves and, lose sleep or, try to learn new things to help them build the business.
Yes.
Because of that, they would just stay away and say, you know what, I'll just go to my regular job and forget this business.
Make my fixed amount of money every 2 weeks, every week, or whatnot. Sometimes these people do wish they had like 4 or 5 hands at the same time to have every hand over there doing something at the same time. But nothing is too hard to work or to make it happen once you have that passion and that dream and vision and that burning desire to make it happen. You come up on a problem, you come up on something that you think that it's going to take you a while to fix. Yeah, you just take a pause and just re-strategize and think through it. Definitely you're going to come up on top. Don't let these things overwhelm you to the point where you just throw up your hands in the air and just give up. No, just sit back and re-strategize. And yes, it's not going to be easy. And like we said before, if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be rich and then running their own businesses. Nobody would be working for other people. But no, it's not that easy. It's hard, but it works. So let's not give up so easily and not be scared of these things that we're going to have to do, like multitasking and stuff like that. Hey, it's possible. It could be done because there are so many people who've done it. So
Yeah, if you don't know certain things, that you have to learn it. Take your time, learn it. If you have to take certain classes to, get some kind of experience from certain situations, do it. You just gotta be willing to do everything that you need to do to make sure the business is successful. Don't just relax and just let these things discourage you from doing your business. Don't let these things discourage you. Push it. Whatever you don't know, go get some help and make sure that your vision comes through. Number 7 on the list is scared of industry change. Sometimes the rules of the game keep changing. Today it might be A, tomorrow it might be B. So if you're going to start a business, you have to be able to keep up with the industry changes. Like taxes are going to change. Rules and regulations are going to change. And you have to be able to adapt, These changes come up. You have to be able to adapt to these changes. Your competition might come in and just switch everything apart. Like the way you are operating. If you're not taking credit cards before, you're going to be forced to take credit cards, not just cash. When you go to most African stores, they don't take credit cards. Everybody want cash.
EBT cards.
They don't take none of those things that makes your life comfortable.
Yeah.
Everybody want cash. And in 2019, how many people walking around with cash in their pocket?
Yes.
Everybody has credit cards and debit cards and stuff like
they
that.
Have Apple Pay. They have that Easy Pay. They have that Zelle. They have that Cash App and all these other things. So
let's not adapt to it.
Let's not stop learning. Once you get into it, we have to keep educating ourselves. Keep researching. What's the newest trend? What's the newest technology out there? What's popping right now? What's the trend? What's attracting these customers? We have to keep have that inquisitive mind and inquisitive spirit to just keep always asking these questions and looking into new innovations and new technologies that are being developed every day. Because that's how businesses do die. If you don't upgrade yourself to the newest technologies and stuff that are working or going on, you eventually gonna fold because you're gonna die. You're not gonna be able to keep up because nobody will want to come to you if you're still accepting only cash in 2019.
You're losing customers because people want to be convenient. People like convenience. People want to come in there and make sure they get whatever they're here for. And make sure that everything goes smoothly for them. They don't want to come in there and you have, limitations on, I take credit cards or I don't take cash or I don't take EBTs or I don't take Visa. I only take Master. You want to make sure that you make your business accessible to everybody. Everybody can come in there and be comfortable. It's your business. You don't just relax and say I'm gonna just do A and forget about B. If you're just gonna operate like that, your business is gonna collapse at some point because things changes. Technology, we live in the technology world right now. A lot of things things that we know right now. The next 10 years, it may not be the same. So you gotta be willing to change when situations change. Adapt. Basically, you gotta learn how to adapt when things changes. You adapt. You learn. Constantly keep learning so you don't you always stay with the flow. You don't get pushed to the side. So because of this, most people, they don't want to deal with it. They just want to sit back, relax, and forget about doing business. Let me just stay home and get my check every 2 weeks. I'm comfortable like that.
Yeah, and there are some associations that do also update and have those continuous education for those members in that area. Get involved with these people, join these associations and stuff like that. Whenever some new stuff, innovations and stuff come up, they'll put you on, let you know what's going on, and also educate you and stuff like that. There are so many ways, so we shouldn't let these things scare us and run us off from starting our own businesses, because there are so many ways that will make them work, because people started and now they are on top. So we can definitely also get into these businesses and get up there with them.
And the number 8 on the list of the reasons why most Ghanaians don't start their own businesses is because they don't have any customer service skills. Lack of customer service skills. This is a huge problem, especially in Ghana.
That's an epidemic.
Yo,
Son,
you can walk into a store and the owner of the store will be on the phone and not even pay you no mind. Like, sometimes you feel like you go to the store and you feel like they're doing you a favor.
They're doing definitely. That's how it looks like back home. Like, these
It's
businesses,
unbelievable.
they make it look like you doing them a favor, going into their stores and purchasing from
They
them.
make it look like they're doing you a favor.
Yes.
They're the ones doing you a favor.
They're doing you a favor. and sometimes you walk into these stores and places and they're there doing their own things, even though they're supposed to be there with 100% of their attention geared towards the customers. You go in there and somebody's probably on the phone talking or testing, and you standing there waiting and just hoping they kind of notice and recognize you and attend to you. And you standing there, they'll give you that look that tells you that, hey, you are interrupting, you are intruding. What are you doing here? And mind you, these people, the customers, are the reason why you're there. If not for them, you'd be in your house or somewhere else. Why would you be in the store waiting for people to come in? And when they come in, you don't show them no respect and you don't treat them good and stuff like that. Do you think if they walk out of that store that moment, they will come back to you? And if they don't come back, who is losing? Because you're not the only person offering those services or selling those products. Even sometimes they have to walk 2-3 blocks farther down to go to that store that they treat them right and good. They will go there. So this is a huge problem, and it's killing a lot of businesses because we all want to be respected and want to be treated good. Right. So if you're not going to respect me for my money, because this is my money I'm giving to you. There are so many people selling the same product, selling the same thing. If you're not going to give me that respect and treat me good, why should I come to you?
It's a huge problem.
If I go to store B and I'm given that recognition and the respect that I require, why come to you and not go to them every time?
If you are doing business, you are serving the people. And if in business, we all know that customers are always right. Customers are regardless of whatever the situation is, customers are always right. It doesn't matter what you think. Your customer is priority. The only reason your business is there is because of the customers. You have to learn to get to know your customers, what your customers like, what they don't like, the reason why they used to come to your store, but they changed their mind. They don't come there no more. You got to know your customers. You are there to serve the people. You have to respect them. You have to treat them right. You have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to smile and talk to people. Somebody will just come to your business every day because they just like the way you smile or how you talk to them respectfully, how you try to even engage with them to find out how they're doing. It's not like when you ask them how you doing and you're not even trying to listen to how they're doing. You just say how you doing, you just walk away. When you ask your customers how are you doing, you gotta be ready to hear how they really are doing, not just say how you doing and walk away. You know what I'm saying? So customer service is very, very, very important in any business. If your business is going to go far, it's customer service. Because at the end of the day, you got to know that you're serving the people and word of mouth travels. Because if I come to your business and I don't get treated right, either I go online and leave comments and just, say something negative about your business, or I tell the next person that I know that might be interested, yo, don't go to this place. They are like this, that. If it's good, I'll tell the people to come in there. Oh, hey, come to this place. They are really good in doing this. They do this. They did it for me, blah, blah, blah. This is all based on customers. You want to make sure you satisfy your customers. Your customers are happy, and once you do this, they're going to keep bringing more customers to you. And you won't even have to be spending money advertising and doing all that stuff that you normally do to get customers,
Yeah, so if you're thinking of starting your own business and you're not sure how you're going to perform in terms of customer servicing and stuff like that, there are so many books and so many sites and YouTube videos that you can learn, watch, and read and educate yourself. So, that won't be a problem once you get into it. There are so many ways we can, upgrade and update ourselves in terms of these things, so not to, put our resources and strength, blood and sweat into these things, and just a common customer service ability not having enough, collapsing and I mean, ruining our businesses and also costing us our whole capital and stuff like that. All these are something that we can work on. We can educate ourselves, read books, watch videos, get on websites, search these things, and we would have so much knowledge and information as to how to treat these customers and get our businesses going.
Yep. So remember, customers are always right. And the only reason you're doing this business or you're thinking about starting this business is because of customers. You are trying to bring some kind of value into these customers' life. And these customers are going to pay you money for what you're doing for them. So you're serving them. You cannot be serving somebody and basically expecting them to be serving you. You know what I'm saying? You serving those people. You providing solutions to their needs and make it look that way. Don't just go in there and just relax and think, I prayed before coming to business, so everything should go well, and not doing the basic things that you need to do. Your business is going to collapse if you don't have any customer service skills. It's very, very, very important. Number 9 on the list is most Ghanaians don't do their own business because they are scared of the risk involved. Can you imagine working your ass off, saving $100,000 and getting into a business and losing everything?
Yes.
I mean, some people commit suicide when stuff like that happen. Not everybody have the mindset or the brain power or the mind toughness to handle these things. Some people can't handle it. It happens to them, they'll pass out. So they are scared to invest their money into their own business. They rather go work for somebody and the person give them peanuts. They will appreciate that, but they're not gonna invest their money. They're not gonna take chance of risking their money for a chance to be financially free. It's that's the problem. People will rather just stay in their comfort zone, just relax, get up every morning, and just go and give 8 hours of their time and come back. They're not gonna save up and take a chance with that money. If you don't take no chance, you don't know what is out there for you. You gotta be willing to take chance. You gotta be willing to pursue your dreams. Like I always say, it's one life. At the end of the chapter, everybody dies. You only know life as you know it now. Depending on whatever you believe in, that determines what happens after now. But life as you know it now, you want to make sure that you become successful. The people that comes after you, your descendants, are also successful. You set them up. You give them the best you can. You don't just be selfish and not do anything and not take any risks and just be there and do nothing and just die off. You want to have some kind of impact in society and your family's life. That should always be priority. And you should always have that in your mind when you're taking these chances. Because all these people that are successful that you see right now, they all took chances. They didn't just fold and stay in one place and do nothing or keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, or just pray and not have any action behind it, or just talk and just forget it. They took the chances and it worked out. So now you see them, you tell, hey, this guy is lucky. This guy is this and this and that. They took the chance, or somebody took the chance. So there's always some risk involved. You got to be willing to risk whatever you have for a chance to be financially free.
Exactly. And the higher the risk level, the higher your result or profit level. So if you're not willing to take that high risk, you shouldn't be waiting for no high proceeds or returns from whatever venture you're in. So it's so scary to be able to save up some money and put into a specific business and lose it all. It's not easy, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why A sole proprietorship business dies with the owner because of the risk of losing everything, the work they put in, the capital they bring in, and all these other things. They don't want to lose out on these things. So with that being said, they have to do whatever it's going to take to get that business to succeed. So that's why that's the push. That's the driving force behind all their sacrifice and commitment. So if you're not ready to put in that sacrifice and commitment and dedication into making that business succeed, then you're better off just taking these paychecks and stuff and be comfortable and just be there. But if you're really ready to put in that sacrifice, to take that risk, and with that sacrifice and that hard work, you would have no option but to succeed. So, yes, we should not get into these our businesses and think that it's just going to flourish. It's just going to work. I'm just going to do whatever I can when I can. No, there are going to be times when you're really going to feel like, oh man, I wish I was on my bed. But then you got to be somewhere attending to a specific problem, solving a specific need or something like that. So these things are not to be taken lightly. That's why it's not for everybody. But it's so much that we all could do. There's so many things that we can all get into and make it happen. But we just have to change our mindset and our outlook and our approach to these things and trust we would succeed.
Yeah, because there's always some risk involved. There's a higher chance that you're going to fail at the business. There's a higher chance that you're going to be successful at the business. But even if you fail, you got to be willing to learn, adapt, and try again. You just can't let that thought of failing destroy your whole vision or stop you from achieving what you want to do.
Yeah, that shouldn't prevent you from even starting. Because even if you don't start, you don't know how you're going to end up. So if you let that fear grip you that, hey, I'm not going to succeed, I'm going to fail, so I'm not even going to venture. No, that's like 100% failure. But if you get into it, there's still some possibilities of you succeeding, you making it happen. But then, we're going to have to put in that required sacrifice and that hard work and all of that stuff. And yes, we would come up on top. So let's not take these things lightly and not, because all these guys who've probably made it, and now we mention their names and cite examples, use them as examples and stuff like that. They will tell you the difficulties that they've been through to get to where they're at. It's not a walk on the park. Like we said, everybody will be doing it, but it's not like that. So, we have to have that mental strength, that will make it happen spirit. No matter what, I'm not going to fold spirit. Because that's all it takes. And follow that passion. Not let anyone drag us down. Because if you're focused on just making it happen, succeeding, that's the only focus we have. We don't have any ends and buts and ifs about, hey, what if it doesn't, what if it doesn't work? What if this, what if that? No, I only have one option. I had a brief conversation with this girl. And then she was in a nursing school, and then she did so great. And I said, so what happened? A lot of people were saying that nursing program is a difficult one and stuff like that. She was like, well, I came here, I had no parent, I had no support. I had to take student loans and stuff to go through that educational system. So I had no option. I didn't have any option but to make it work. To get these grades, to get on that honor roll and stuff like that. So that's all she had. So she was going to make it happen, rain or shine, by any means necessary. And that's what it takes. That's the spirit you need to get into these things. And once you develop these spirits, there shouldn't be any scary risk feelings or attitudes that should, deter you from getting into it. No, just focus on just succeeding and trust.
Yeah, in any kind of business, you're definitely going to make mistakes and fail at certain things. But when those situations comes, like I said, you only have to learn from it.
Yeah, it should serve as a learning experience for you.
you learn from it, and you adapt, and then whatever mistakes that you made, wherever you fail, that you try again and make sure that it works out in the second time. That's all there is.
Yeah, we've all had our share in these Ghanaians starting businesses and stuff like that back home, and all the failures and other things that we've been through. And I keep telling my brother, I'm glad that we went through that now that we are still young and we have that, that opportunity to risk, generate, and start over. But the experience that I've gained is what I cherish so much. So I don't care. I lost X amount of money. I think I've used that money to, buy that experience or buy that knowledge or that lesson that I'm going to have to, is going to have to guide me through life, So it's not a total loss. It's a learning experience.
It's not a loss like that.
So, let's have that mental strength.
And the number 10, the last one on the list, is most Ghanaians are scared to do their own business, or they don't want to do their own business because they are scared of competition. They don't want to be involved with any kind of competition. And I don't know where in this world you're going to do business without competition, because the moment you start your business and the business start, making waves, somebody's trying to take you down. So competition is always going to be there. Competition is healthy. That's the only way the customers are always also going to get the best. No one person is going to dominate just one business or create some kind of just basically run the whole show. No one business is going to do that. Other people are going to learn from your business. You are going to learn from other people's. There's always somebody's going to take your customer. You're going to take other people's customers. It's going to go back and forth. You're going to have somebody doing the same exact business. So you got to find ways to overcome your competition. For me, if you are ready to go into any business, you got to be ready to go in there and dominate the field that you're in. Don't go in there to be competing with anybody. You go in to take over, to run the show, to be the number one business. You go in with that mindset. You don't go in to compete with anybody. If you are willing to compete, then you're not serious. You got to learn everything that you need to learn to go into that business and willing to basically run over all your competitions and be the dominant force in that field. That's what you want to be. So don't worry about competition. Competition is always going to be there. It's necessary. It needs to be there. That's what's going to push you to become the best in whatever you're doing.
And competition is competition. Business is pretty much like a child. When you give birth to a child, they have to start learning how to crawl, then walk, and then, get to that point where they will run and, grow, complete their education, start working and grow, then come to that point where they start to decline. Because once you hit a certain age, your health, your strength, and everything is going to decline. So business is just like that. So even if you start that business, you are going to grow to a certain point where you will reach your peak. And once you hit there, you're going to start to decline. The only way you stop declining once you hit your peak is to start your R&D, research and development department, where you're always on the ground learning, asking, how would you want this to be done? What difference do you think I can bring into this service that will make things better for you? Once we start asking these questions and, trying to outdo the next competitor, that's when we still on top. And like you said, competition is great. Competition is good. It brings our inner strengths and abilities that sometimes we might not even know they exist. So we shouldn't allow that to scare us from entering into or starting our own businesses and stuff like that, because that's what's gonna fuel our growth. gonna push us to the point where we want to bring some new innovations and start new things that will broaden our horizon and bring in more customers and stuff like that. So if we, before we even get into it, we sit back and let these things prevent or scare us from starting our own businesses, then we're not even gonna start. We already losers before we even think and start these businesses. So no, that should not ever prevent or stop us from getting into these things, because we will grow. Once in business, once you keep growing, other people hear, hey, this guy is making money in this field, others will get into it. That's when you start declining. All right, so now people are coming into this specific business that I'm in. How do I stay on top? That's when you develop your customer service skills. That's when you start adding new innovations into your services or products. That's when you start building. So you want to keep yourself on top or on the food chain by, bringing and modifying and changing things around to suit your customers. The customers should always be number one in our minds. Whatever we do, they should be our focus. Hey, how do I please them? How do I make things better for them? How do I get them to like this better than the next product?
I mean, if you're going into a business and all you are thinking about is the money involved, there's a higher chance that you're going to fail. You have to be always thinking about the customers, how you're going to help these people, how you're going to make these people's life better. That's the only way the money follows, because the customers are only going to respond to what you are giving them. They're not just going to say, oh, this guy is doing business, so let me just give him my money.
They don't care.
They're coming in with their money to get the best or whatever's going to favor them, whatever's going to work out for them. If your competition is selling bread and you selling bread, how about you sell bread and butter?
Exactly.
It's just that simple. You have to find a way to, because competition is always going to be there. Competition always going to be there. Man, it's not going to go away. But you got to find ways to learn more, create more options.
Hey, if I see this person, people from this particular house coming down to buy this thing every day, how about starting a delivery service? Like taking orders, man. You don't have to come out of your house. This is my phone number. Whenever you need stuff, call me up in about 5 minutes. It'll be by your doorstep. How about these innovations and stuff like that? There are so many ways, and there are so many books and so many learning tools that we can use to equip ourselves to stay on top and be that better option for our customers than the next guy. So, we should not let these things scare us.
Competition is healthy, and it's the only way that is going to make you better, bring the best out of you, make you creative. And also, that's the only way the customers are going to get the best. You're not just going to come in there and give the people any kind of business you want and you expect the people to just settle for that. The people will only settle for that if there's no competition. Once competition shows up, it's either you're going to learn to adapt or be creative or come up with better ways, or your business is going to collapse. It's just that simple. So embrace competition. Don't shy away from it. It's going to bring the best out of you. And you always have the mindset to want to get into any kind of business, any field, to dominate the field and become the best. Whoever's in there that is doing better than you, learn and try to come up with ways to be the best and dominate that person and take over. That is the kind of mindset you need to have if you go into any kind of business, because you are always going to have competition.
Let's always seek information. We should not discount and count stuff off before we even research and look into them. Let's research. Let's keep educating ourselves. Let's keep asking questions, because until you ask, you would never know. Until you ask, you would never have that next guy. You would not discover how much info and how much help there could be to you. So let's not be afraid to talk and ask questions. Let's keep asking questions. Have every option on the table. Then we can go through them. Hey, this will favor me. This will help me. This won't work. This will work. And then, we sort through these things out. We shouldn't discount stuff. We shouldn't write them off before we even approach or start trying to get into these things. So, seeking information in the 21st century is everything. Let's keep researching and asking questions and seek a lot of information.
So yes, there you have it. These are the top 10 reasons why most Ghanaians don't own their own business or don't want to start businesses or don't want to even think about starting a business. We want to, listen to this over and over and over and over and try to learn from this, because there's a lot of information in there that's going to help you if you're thinking about creating your own business. There are obstacles in everything. In everything that you're trying to do in life, there are always obstacles. You never know enough, You always want to keep learning. You want to keep learning as much as you can before you get into anything. And even if you are in whatever you're doing, you still want to be learning as you're going. Keep learning, read books, listening to podcasts like this, the Money Matters podcast. Keep learning, and your business is going to be successful and everything is going to go well with you. And you will build an asset that is going to last for a lifetime. And you'll be able to pass on to your children. Your children will be able to pass on to their children, and the business will be like a household name kind of business.
Yup. And we should not discount stuff. Like I said, we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't let others scare us. We shouldn't let the thing we don't know prevent us from getting into it. Let's keep asking questions. Let's have that mental strength. Let's follow that passion that we have. Let's work on that dream, because once you have these visions and dreams, until you start working on them, it's just going to be a bulky, blurry thing until you start breaking it down. So let's spend time thinking and doing feasible studies and stuff like that. And, it will work. Once you get every information that you need, that's when you gain that confidence, because you know every step, every corner, every turn you have to make and stuff like that. And once you're in there, you have every tool on your table. You would definitely come on top of these things. We should not let fear shy us away from these things.
Yeah, so go ahead and subscribe to our channel. If you like this content, you want to keep getting these kind of information, subscribe to the channel, hit on that red button. And once we post anything on YouTube, it will pop up on your screen and you'll be able to get the information that you need. Thank you very much for listening.
That's all for today. Until we meet again next time, never stop learning. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Email us at themoneymatterspodcast@gmail.com.
Your moon.